In ChatGPT, you can use custom GPTs or projects. Both powerful AI helpers, but they serve different purposes. Think of it as custom GPTs as helpful AI assistants or even agents. Feed them with your files, give them step-by-step instructions, and they can solve your questions. They can even perform tasks. Whereas project is more like a workspace. You can also add files here, and then you can continuously prompt over and over. Think of it as having a coworker that's doing your job. That's the custom GPT. Whereas a coworker that helps you get his job done, that is your project. Let's get started. To find the custom GPT, you go to GPTs over here in the left menu. Click that. The first page that you will go on, that is the pre-built GPTs. These are GPTs from third parties or OpenAI. Be careful if you share sensitive or private information when using these third-party GPTs, and some of them may even require a license. Let's build our own GPTs. I go up in the upper right corner and hit Create. Here I can choose between Create and Configure. Let's start with creating one. Here we can create one just by our natural English words. To the right you will see a preview of our custom GPT. So far we have nothing in it. That makes sense. Go down here to the prompt box and then you can say create a GPT that acts as a communication specialist that takes an email draft and writes a new email with a personal greeting, a friendly and concise message based on the draft, and ends with a professional greeting, and finally suggest an email subject. This is sufficient. I hit enter. Then ChatGPT will update our custom GPT. It will also follow up in a few seconds, probably asking for a name. Email policy, is that good? I will say yes, that's a great name. So I simply just follow up with my natural English words. Now it even generates a picture, that's this little logo that you see over here to the right. You can choose to brainstorm that logo or say, this is fine. Here you say, do you like this one? I'll just say, okay. And then it will ask me a lot of other questions. We can choose to stick with the custom GPT here, or we can enhance it further. What ChatGPT has done is that if we go to configure, you can see it filled out all these fields automatically. It even updates the icon up here. We could have made this ourselves, and we will do so in a few seconds. Over here, we can try our new custom GPT. This is like trying it before we publish it. And for example, here I can say, hi Ben, I find your negotiation and act towards me rude. Kind regards. So a little bit of an unprofessional email. Can also see here that we have a spelling mistake. We will just let it be. Then our email polisher will create a nice email for us. We have the subject, concern regarding recent communication. Hi Ben, I wanted to share some honest feedback regarding our recent interactions. I found the tone of your negotiation and your approach towards me quite disrespectful, which I find disappointing. I hope we can move forward. So a professional email, just as we expected. If I'm happy with it, I hit create up here. Here there are a few settings. We will talk about that a little later in this topic. For now, just hit update. Our custom GPT is getting created. Currently, it's only me that have access to it. And if I hit view GPT, we can start operating here. You will also see that it shows up over to the left. What I can do from here is to click these three dots and choose Hide from Sidebar. If it for some reason doesn't show up there and shows up here, you can always go up in this and choose Show in Sidebar. Right now it's Hide from Sidebar. Also, if you're not seeing it at all, let's say you just have this new chat and you don't see it in the menu, you can always find your GPTs by clicking GPT. And then you will see the My GPTs. If I click it up here, then my new email policy will show up. From here, I can choose to edit it or delete it. And if I click it, I'm back into it, and then I can choose to keep it in sidebar. For now, this is good. Let's go to new chat and let's configure our own custom GPT. To do so, I again go to GPTs, I hit create. Let's first give it a little logo. We do that by making sure we are in configure, clicking this little plus. Here I can choose between uploading a photo or using DALL-E, that is the image generator. Since I already have a photo, I just click here and then I find my logo. I go to the lesson files, which we downloaded earlier. And here I move into the Custom GPTs and Projects. Go into the Common Sense Bank, and here we have a little logo. Now we will make a custom GPT that helps answering HR related questions. Then we can send it out in the organization. Over to the right, you will see that we now have the logo. We have not filled anything in the custom GPT. Let's give it a name. I will call this one the Common Sense Bank HR and call it here. And then you will see it updates to the right. We will also give it a description. I can say this is an agent that helps employees quickly find answers to common HR related questions. This description will show up underneath the title. This is just for easier identifying what this custom GPT actually does. Now we will give it instructions. This is like telling how should this custom GPT behave. And here I can say you are an HR assistant who helps employees by answering questions about policies, benefits, and procedures. Always answer clearly, politely, and based on the provided knowledge, like this. Conversation starters. These are conversation starters that will show up underneath here to get the conversation going, so it's easy for the user to interact with this custom GPT. For example, one of them could be how much vacation do I earn per year and when can I take it, like this. Then we will create a new one. Let's create 3. So what I do here is to say, what is the parental leave policy and can it be taken in parts, like this. And let's finish the first one. Am I allowed to work remotely and what are the core hours? You will see it shows up over here. Now it's easy for a user to start this conversation. Here I can choose to upload my files. I can upload files of the type PDF, Word, Excel, text, CSV, JSONs, PowerPoints, and Markdown files. So I click Upload Files. This will let our custom GPT base its answers on these documents. I just take the 5 PDFs from the lesson files and click Open. Keep in mind that while we upload these are copied documents. So the knowledge is not linked, meaning that if I update my files, this custom GPT will not update. Further below, recommended model. Here I can choose to let the user decide what model he or she will use, or I can enforce it by saying it must use the 4.1 or 03. Let's leave that to the user. We can let our custom GPT have a few capabilities. Web search. Do I want to allow this custom GPT to access the web? Probably not. We don't need it here. Canvas. That is like this code block. Don't need that either. I don't need it to generate images this time, and I'm not using the code interpreter or data analysis. That is, do I want the custom GPT to be able to write Python to interpret data? We don't need it. Finally, here in the create new action, this allows us to retrieve real-time data from the outside through APIs. Takes a little bit more to configure. We will leave it blank. So here we have configured ourselves. This gives us much more flexibility and accuracy. Now I decide what's getting in this configure as opposed to before where we created it. Over here, we can try it again, and you can also see that the user can change the model. If I want, I hit create, and let's talk a little bit about these sharing settings. Up here, I can choose to invite people from my workspace. That is the ChatGPT Teams Workspace or Pro. So if I write Stine here, you will see that Stine Rasmussen shows up. Now I can allow her to chat, view settings, that is all these settings over here, or edit. Let's just remove her again. Down here I can also say what kind of access do I want to this custom GPT. Invite only, that is I need to invite every user. Anyone at the Jensen org with the link, that is my workspace. This is just the entire workspace without a link. I can make it public. You should not do that probably, anyone with the link, or make it available in the GPT store so every user of the ChatGPT can find it. Usually you just want to go with an invite only or choose someone from your workspace. Then we can click update. Now we are ready to try it again. This is like we did before. Let's just update here. And again, I can choose to view GPT. Now it goes up here, and actually you can see it does not show up here in the sidebar. Sometimes you will not see him there, and as we learned, we could choose to click this drop down and keep in sidebar, then you will see it shows up here. When I'm trying to operate this model, that is, I come into ChatGPT like this, opening up ChatGPT. Now I can find it in the sidebar. I can click here. And up here, you will see that the user can choose a model, for example, 4.0, GPT-03, whatever model OpenAI currently have. Let's just stick with the 4.0. Now I can go down here and I can choose to pick one of the conversation starters. Then this prompt will be sent and you will see that we get an answer based on the knowledge that we provided. Here it's from the FAQ. If I want to give this custom GPT another prompt, I again go up here to the dropdown and I say new chat. I can also prompt it myself. I can say, can I transfer unused vacation days to next year? So like chatting with GPT, but the custom GPT is a specialized version, a light AI agent. Here you can see that we get an answer. I can transfer unused vacation days to the next year, but with some condition, up to 5 days, and there's also an email here. I can say, give me the source for that. I want to know where it found it. Then it says from the vacation and time off policy, it quotes it, and from the FAQ. Really nice. Let me go up in this drop down again. If I want to edit it, I can go 2 places. I could go to the GPTs and find my GPTs, or I can simply just go here and say edit GPT. You can also choose to hide it from the sidebar. Then in Review GPT, the users of this GPT can review it. Right now it's only me, but imagine that I shared this. Let me go up and hit New Chat. Let's talk about projects. Projects in ChatGPT lets you collect your files in one focused workplace where we can prompt them. Think of it as a notebook LM from Google, just here in OpenAI. However, we don't have audio overviews yet. These projects can't be shared with team members, and they're designed for single topic chats. That is because we upload files. To create a new project, I go to New Project, and then we can give our project a name. I will call this one Workplace Insights, and I choose to create the project. Then I can add files and instructions. Let's first add some files. Here, click Add Files, and if I go back to the lesson files, again in the Custom GPTs and Projects, I go to HR Data. Here I have an absence report of our company, I have an employee satisfaction survey, and some exit interviews. Pick these three while you press Control on your keyboard. That will select these. And then they will upload. You can upload up to 20 files, and again, you can use PDF, Words, Excels, text, CSV, JSON, PowerPoints, and Markdown documents, and a few more, but those ones were the most accessible. So right now, you will see that it has uploaded. It says that file content may not be accessible. As long as it is data, it is accessible. I can check that by closing it here, and then I can say, what does the absence report say? If I do that, I will get a summary. Here you can see it, overall absence trend. So that works perfectly. Then to go back to the project, I just click over here. This is the project overview. We can also add more files. That is just to go down here and add more files. Let's add some instructions. That is, we want to instruct this project how to behave. So if I go here, I could say something like, use the provided references to help analyze workplace trends. Focus on summarizing insights, comparing departments, identifying patterns over time, and suggesting practical HR actions when relevant. Keep your responses concise, structured, and professional, like this. Then I hit save. Now I told my project how to behave. Then we can start using it again. We can prompt it. Let's say I want to summarize key patterns and concerns across departments based on the employee satisfaction survey. Highlight differences in ratings and recurring themes in comments. Then it will look in my documents. Here you will see that the satisfaction is 3.2 in average, 2.9, 3.5, 3.3, and operations 3.6, and engagement, leadership, trust, and career growth. Then we have some recurring themes in the comments from the exit themes, positive notes, and concerns. Then we also have suggested HR actions. For example, like a career growth framework, prioritize career development, and feedback structures for finance and IT. Again, to add in a new prompt in a new context, then I just go over here to the workplace insights. You can also see that the old chats are showing up here in the project. If I go up here, it took a little bit too long to just write. I can also click the microphone. Analyze monthly absence trends by department. Identify any outliers or concerning patterns and suggest where further investigation might be needed. Then it will do voice to text. Much easier to talk than it is to write, especially if you sit in a lonely office like me. I don't disturb anyone. Now it will analyze all the data in the workplace, and then it will, here we have it, concerning patterns and outliers, HR department, significant spikes in absence days during September. I can also choose to follow up by visualizing the things. Let us go to a new chat. Let's say I also want to, for example, answer an email. Then I can go to the lesson files. I go into Custom GPTs and Projects, into the HR data. Here I have an email. Yes, in the real world, this would be an Outlook, but it will be the same. I just copy the email. I want help to reply on that. And here I can use my workplace. Here I can just say, help me answer this email, Shift Enter 2 times, say Control V, paste in the email. Now I get a nice answer. Here's a professional, and you will see that it makes sources, for example, from the exit interviews. Really nice. I can further brainstorm with it. And finally, let me go up to Workplace Insights. Here I can also choose to real-time talk to the content of the project, that is the project files, and with the instruction here. So if I take on my headphones, hello, ChatGPT.
Hey there, how's it going? What's
What
on your
does the
mind today?
files for the project shows? Can you give me some insights?
Sure, I took a look at the exit interviews, and there are some key insights from different departments. For example, in the finance department, employees felt there was a lack of growth opportunities and a missing feedback culture.
Great. Stop there. How can I improve on that? What initiatives should I launch in the company? We are a company of 100 people and we are a production facility.
Since your production facility, a great initiative could be to create clear career paths and training programs. That way,
And we can follow up on this. Your next ChatGPT video around using ChatGPT for advanced Excel is right here.